And to be completely honest with you, I feel healthier. I feel like natural. I feel like myself. What is going on, everybody? So, another update on my TRT journey. If you have been following this channel or you're new to this channel, in my previous videos, I talk about how I'm coming off TRT, and I've been off for about a month and a half now. And I'm experimenting with myself. I'm not listening to anybody out there. There's a lot of influencers out there. There's a lot of information out there that is telling you, hey, if you get off TRT, you're never going to be the same, right? You're going to lose all your gains, and life is going to be miserable. And I feel like we tend to follow these people without actually trying things ourselves, right? And so we're so scared. But I'm going to tell you right now, so far since I've been off, it's been a journey and I'm sticking with it. The first 2 weeks were rough. I'm not going to lie. It was rough, right? And it kind of felt like I was in this limbo phase. I didn't have energy. I wanted to sleep all day. I pushed right through it, right? Everything that I can control, I control. My diet, everything I put in my body, my sleep, my exercise routine, everything. Even if my sets and my reps and my motivation was cut in half, guess what? I'm still gonna do it. I'm going to do it because that is in my control and I do not give a crap how I feel. So I did it. Now I decided to throw another curveball in this challenge in my journey of getting off TRT, and I decided to do a 5-day water fast. And I know there's people out there saying, bro, if you're coming off TRT, you got to eat more and you got to do more and you got, but I figured, you know what? Since my baseline is already down here, right? I'm already down here. I'm just coming off an injury. My hand was broken. You know what? I think now is the perfect time to do a prolonged fast, which was my very first prolonged fast ever. I've attempted to do 3 days and I fell short and I couldn't handle it, and I did 2 days, and this was during COVID. But now I decided to do 5-day water fast, which was interesting. So I'm going to take you along through how I felt each and every day as best I can, and how I prepare for it or my lack of preparation. So let me just start off by telling you this. So obviously, again, I've been off for about a month and a half, and that's where I'm at right now. And there's so many reasons why I wanted to do a fast. I wanted to reset my body. I felt like since I've put it through the ringer with TRT, with injections and exogenous testosterone, I felt like my body went through a lot. And to be honest with you, I got away with quite a bit being on TRT. I can eat not whatever I wanted, but I got away with a lot. I was eating pizza, I was eating dessert more than I should have, and I was just doing all these things because I knew that keeping the muscle was going to be a lot easier for me. Right? So now I got to get everything dialed in. Not only that, but there was also a deeper reason why I decided to do it. I have a history of cancer in my family, and my dad unfortunately passed away at the age of 55 from cancer. So the idea of having autophagy and kickstarting autophagy in my system during this period, I believe was just the right thing to do. So that's why I did. And so I tried it. So I ended up kickstarting my fast on a Sunday night, and it was right after I had just finished a big plate of pasta, actually several plates of pasta. We went out to eat at this nice Italian restaurant, me and the family, and I finished it off with just a bunch of pasta and 2 big slices of cheesecake. And that right there was a huge mistake, because I paid for it, especially in day 2, when my body said, oh, you're trying to get in ketosis. Well, guess what? Let me just finish digesting this big Italian feast that you just had. And that was a big mistake. So moving on, day 1 comes around, I wake up and I'm okay, right? I'm not feeling too bad, whatever. Day 1 was pretty easy, right? I got slight hunger pains here and there, especially around noon, were actually around 10 o'clock. That's when I usually eat breakfast or eat whatever. That's usually my first meal. And then again in the evening, but it wasn't too bad, right? I think I've had worse hunger pains just watching Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix. Day 2 was humbling, to say the least. I felt like I got punched in the face, right smack dab in the face. And this one knocked me on my ass. Hunger for days. I had hunger all day long. I was constantly thinking about food. Nothing helped. Oh, and just to let you know, that I forgot to mention this, is every single day when I woke up, I made sure I drank water with a pinch of salt, and then I would add on, it was a 32-ounce bottle that I had, and I would add in a half a packet of Element electrolytes. It's the new craze out there. I believe in it. I've been taking Element for quite a bit. So I would dump a half a packet in a 32-ounce bottle, drink that in the morning, and then later in the afternoon, I would finish the rest of the packet with another 2-ounce, 32-ounce bottle. And I would just have coffee a few hours after I'd finished the first bottle of water. I'd have coffee a few hours after that. And so that's what I did every single day. So day 2 was, it was just nuts. I did not sleep. I slept maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then come day 3, and day 3 was completely different. Day 3 was like amazing. I woke up on day 3 and I was like, wow, actually, damn, I felt really good on day 3. I couldn't believe how good I felt. And did the same usual coffee, water, salt, electrolytes, all that stuff. I added no sugar, no creamer in my coffee. So I went on, and day 3, man, it was like somebody hacked into my brain and completely rewired the motherboard. I felt my mind was clear. I felt grounded. My emotions were balanced. And I felt like I felt present, and I felt connected to my family. It was weird. It was extremely weird. And it felt kind of spiritual too, right? I do a lot of praying. So that was a good time and a good opportunity for me to actually reconnect with God. So that's what I did. Felt amazing. Day 4 came around, and day 4 was interesting. I didn't have the energy that I felt in day 3, but I didn't feel as bad as I did day 2. It was just whatever, right? But I threw another curveball in there. I did the usual water, salt, electrolytes, coffee, all that good stuff. And then I decided around noon, you know what, let me see if I can work out again. Sometimes I feel like I'm not the smartest person, but I definitely give into my curiosity, and I worked out. I thought literally that I was gonna die after a few reps, but man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I felt strong. I felt powerful. I felt explosive. I didn't go crazy. I did some goblet squats with the kettlebells, mixed in some push-ups, some kettlebell swings, and I felt amazing. And I was also surprised by the fact that I had a pump, which was crazy because I was like, I don't have any glycogen left, so I don't know how, but whatever. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert in fasting, but it's just something that I experienced. So I felt like a superhero. Right after the workout, I didn't feel any hunger pains. I didn't feel any hunger pains, and I just felt energy. And it was energy that lasted throughout that day. However, I made the mistake of making bone broth on later that night. I made bone broth from scratch. Biggest mistake, because I felt like my senses were at an all-time high. They were completely just heightened. So my sense of smell, when I fell asleep that night and I left that bone broth on the stove, I could smell that bone broth from another zip code. That's how much of an impact the fasting had on my senses, because I could smell that bone broth just simmering, which was a huge mistake because I did not sleep. I probably slept for maybe about 2 hours, which is crazy. I woke kind of weak, man. I'm not gonna lie, I woke up weak. I didn't really have hunger pain till the afternoon, but it was perfect timing because I broke my fast. And I had 2 cups of that bone broth. And I'm gonna tell you right now, making homemade bone broth is so much better than store-bought bone broth that comes in packets. That bone broth that I had felt like medicine to my body. It just felt amazing. I felt, since I reset my body, that I was able to absorb every single nutrient that bone broth provided me. And it was just amazing. So I had 2 cups of that. It was funny because after that, I didn't really experience any hunger right after I drank that. So since I didn't experience any hunger, It makes no sense for me to just cram food in my stomach or down my mouth. So I didn't. And then later that evening, I had a cup or I had a can of sardines. I know people think that they're disgusting. I absolutely love sardines. Some sardines and some avocado, half of an avocado, and knocked out. I slept like a baby. First time in 5 days that I actually got a good night's rest. I woke up, and when I woke up the next day, my body just felt incredible. I felt like I had reset my body. I had so much energy and I didn't have any hunger pain. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna actually stick to a 6 to 8 hour window now, which is what I've been doing now. The crazy thing, it's been 4 days since my fast, and for the first time ever, it's been 4 days since my fast. For the first time since being off TRT, I have felt the best. I feel better now than I did on TRT. My emotions are balanced. My energy and my mood are stable. And I feel just connected. My relationships are a lot better. I don't know if this is all in my head. I don't know, but I just feel grounded. And I'll give you an update. I feel kind of weird just taking my shirt off, but I just wanted to show you guys an update on my physique after TRT or after this fast and being off TRT. I've lost quite a bit of muscle. As you can see, I'm not as big. I don't have these big traps. I miss my traps. I don't have these big traps, but this is where I stand now, right? So this is where I stand. And to be completely honest with you, I feel healthier. I feel like natural. I feel like I'm not as explosive as I was, and I'm not pushing this crazy amount of weight. Not like I did before, but for my body style, for my frame, I have a smaller frame than a lot of guys out there who jump on TRT and they just blow up. But for me, I had a lot of muscle, but I'm happy where I'm sitting at right now. The most important part, as I'll tell you right now, is how I feel. That's what I'm most proud of. I feel amazing. I feel, like I said, I feel connected. I feel grounded. I feel more present. I feel like my emotions and my energy and my mood are just balanced, right? And I think that's what we fail to measure TRT. We fail to measure on just different metrics. Of course, if you're measuring your post-TRT lifestyle or the way you feel to TRT metrics, you're gonna fall short because TRT is like a superpower, right? It's almost like a superpower. Is that really you? I don't know. But what I wanna say is stop listening to everybody out there saying that your life is gonna be miserable and you're not gonna get your life back. Let me tell you something right now. The body is so powerful and the body is amazing on what it can do. You have no idea what your body can do. You just got to let it do it, right? You just got to let it do the thing. You got to be patient, right? You got to have a plan and you got to know and you got to be persistent. You got to be consistent and control the things that you control and then just let your body do everything else. You just got to wait. It doesn't happen overnight. That's it. I will make another update on everything else. If you need help on getting off, if you're in that limbo stage or you're afraid, hit me up. I'll walk you through exactly what I did. I'll make another video posting my protocol. Wasn't that crazy? I did the typical HCG for about a month. Felt this limbo stage the first 2 weeks. After that, I feel fine. Completely fine. You just got to be able to wait. You got to be able to endure just a little bit. It's not that bad. That's all I got. Till next time. God is good.